All right. All right. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. A little weary this morning. Watching that game last night between OKC and Denver. Great finish. The Nuggets end up knocking off OKC by a bucket in the end, taking a surprising, to many, 1-0 lead in the Western Conference Semifinals. Before that, the Knicks, they came back and stole one from Boston. The previous day, Cleveland, they got rubbed out by Indiana. And also, Houston, the number 2 seed, they got beat by Golden State in Game 7. So the last 4 games from the top 4 seeds in the NBA playoffs have all taken the L, with Houston taking the final L. So now the question is, who's really in trouble here? Are the Celtics in trouble? What about OKC? What about the Cavaliers? And more importantly, should anybody in the Denver, not the Denver, but the Minnesota and Golden State series be on upset alert? If you can really call that an upset, being that there was a log jam for seedings in the West, whoever wins that series wouldn't really be an upset. But if Edwards is thinking he's superior to Golden State, this is an eye-opener for him and his teammates. But I think that they're going to be in trouble anyway, and you're going to find that out over the next 5-6 games. But in reality, I don't think that Boston is in very much trouble. They end up blowing the game last night that they should have won. Maybe they came in overconfident. I don't know what the situation was. But I know in the end, the Knicks, when they had a chance to win the game, they seemed to had wanted it more than what Boston did. All of that without very much production from Karl-Anthony Towns. For the most part, this guy had pretty much 12 points for the whole game. The game goes in overtime. I think he tipped one home then. Ended up with 14 for the whole game. So it took him an extra session just to make it to 14 points. That cannot be something that is going to allow the Knicks to advance. Yeah, you survived this time, but if Towns is going to play like that, eventually the Celtics are going to make the adjustments that they need to get past the Knicks. They're going to make more three-point shots. They're not going to make the silly turnovers that they did in the end. And I don't see New York having much of a chance if Towns is not more an active participant in the series. He started the series out against Detroit the same way. But the difference is Boston got a lot more in the tank than what you're going to get from Detroit. And you can't expect that the other players are always going to carry him when he was brought to New York just for situations like this. And he's not producing. And it's a common theme. It comes and goes. And the thing I learned about him, I know he had a little scrape with Jimmy Butler because Butler criticizing him for only caring about his stats. But if he truly cared about his stats, he can't be very happy with his production lately in these the first series and this series here. He's going to have to do much more if the Knicks are hoping to advance. So are the Celtics really in trouble? I don't think so, because I don't think that Towns is ever going to reach the height to get where he needs to be. Now, that's not to say, I used to say that Chris Paul, he was never going to lead a team to a championship, and that's becoming prophetic. And I don't think Towns is ever going to lead a team to a championship either. That's not to say he won't win one. If he does win it, he's going to be a piece in the puzzle. That's all. but he's not going to be a leading member of a team that wins the championship. All right, is the movie Wild Wild West. JC, how you doing, man? I'm talking about these upsets that's taking place in the first games of these semifinals. Yesterday we saw the Pacers, or 2 days ago we saw the Pacers knock off the Cavaliers. I think the Cavaliers, they play game 2 tonight. They're probably in more danger, far more danger than what Boston is. You know, as you play these games and teams make these adjustments, you begin to see the cracks in these teams. And Cleveland lives and dies pretty much on that three-pointer. And the other day, Mitchell, he pretty much took over and willed the Cavaliers back in that game. But they didn't have their full complement of players. I wonder if Cleveland had the right lineup to begin with. That guy Hunter, he should have played a more prominent role for the Cavaliers. And now that you still have, what's his name, Garland out, that really hurts Cleveland. So it's imperative that Cleveland comes out tonight, use Hunter more if they're not going to have Garland, to give them more of an offensive assortment to counteract what the Pacers like to do. And what the Pacers are really doing right now, I see, is Halliburton is doing a lot of penetrating. They're going to have to keep him out of the lane. If they can keep Halliburton out of the lane, I don't think Pacers got enough dead-eye shooters to take off Cleveland. But if they're not going to play Hunter as much and Garland's not going to play, then they're in serious trouble. So it's going to come down to tonight to see if Cleveland can overcome the offensive woes the way that they shot the ball the other night. Now, we've seen that before. They've done that in the playoffs. So it's not unusual that a team will shoot bad. And I think Cleveland is going to be able to overcome that. If they win tonight, then they should be fine. And the longer the series goes, the more likely they're going to get Garland back. But if they don't have Garland and Hunter's not being utilized in a better situation, then Cleveland's on upset alert. And last night, OKC, I think OKC is more a factor of rust. They've been sitting around for over a week waiting on an opponent, and they're not in that normal 2-3 day pattern of playing a game. And you may think that rest is a good thing, which it is, but too much rest is deadly. I tried to cross-reference that to Ohio State and Oregon when they played in the college football playoffs. Oregon was hitting on all cylinders at the end of the season, but then they had to sit around for over a month because they had a bye in the playoffs. Well, if you recall, Oregon, their offense struggled the first 2.5 games of the season before they finally took off. It took them a while to get their rhythm. And it was the same thing in the playoffs. It took them 2 quarters to get started, and by that time they were down 30 points. And that's the result of too much rest. And I think OKC, because of that, that extra rest that they had, it took them a little bit to get going. And I think that Denver being in more of a rhythm than they are, they were in better position to pull that game off in the end, and that's what happened. So do I think OKC is in trouble? No, but Joker, he scored what, 40-something points last night, 42 or 46? Do you let him score and not distribute? Or, because he didn't have very many assists, when he's scoring all those points, his assists are down. Do you prevent him from scoring and let the other guys beat you? How do you defend Denver? The question is, Joker, what can you do to minimize his effectiveness? And last night, he didn't do a whole lot. He scored over 40 points. He had like 20-something rebounds. They can't keep him off the boards because the Holmgren and Hartenstein just a little bit too light to rub him out. And the way he was going after those rebounds last night, and you see on the sideline, he's coaching the players up. Hey, man, this guy is going to be hard to beat. So OKC, who's used to blowing out Memphis, they're going to have to step up. And the talk is already out there. This team is not going to go very far. They're just a second-round team. They look good. They win the regular season games, but then you get to this point here, that's as far as they're going to go. Well, these guys are hearing the same thing. So it's up to them to step up in game 2 and win that game. If they go to Denver down 0-2, then that old storyline about them folding in the playoffs, that just might come true again. And it's going to be very interesting to see what takes place. President of the Earth says it's a change of guard. Them young players are sweeping teams. The Pacers are better the team left. Well, youth does play a very important role because you got fresher legs. I still think Cleveland is a better team. It's not like they're an old team, but the player that they really need is Garland. They need Garland to come in and make things right again. Not saying that the players on the bench can't rise to a level, but Garland is the one that really makes the difference. And then they started some dude, forget his name. I don't even know who he is. He started over Hunter. And Hunter is probably a better player to start in that position. And I think if they start Hunter tonight, then they should be fine. They fell down, 10, 12 points, and Mitchell brought them back. If the game is pretty much even most of the game, Cleveland will probably pull away and win tonight. And once they take control of the series, then they should win. But I still think this is as far as they're going to go. Boston, if Boston and Cleveland make it, I'm taking Boston in 6 because Boston just got a little bit deeper team and can score from a lot more positions than what Cleveland can. And that would be the difference in that series. But they got to get by these pesky Knicks. It took Brunson a while to get going. I thought they had some kind of magical game plan to slow him down, but they didn't. He came on late. He kind of reminded me of what Van Vliet did for Houston. When he seen that Green, he wasn't going to step up and lead the team offensively, he took control. Now, unfortunately for Van Vliet, he didn't score as much as he did in the previous games, and his 3-point was a little bit off, and that made the difference against Golden State. But I think that Brunson taking over when Towns, he just can't seem to do it. And the earlier you recognize that a player is not going to come through, you have to readjust. And I think that's what Brunson is doing. So in game 2, I expect Brunson to come out firing. Forget about Towns. We can't believe in this guy. He's not going to do it on a consistent basis. And I think the Celtics, if they recognize that, like I'm telling you now, and formulate a plan to slow him, knowing that Towns is not going to be consistent, that's going to make the difference in the series. And that's what I expect to see. I expect the Celtics to slow down Brunson and pretty much let Towns go on his own because he's not going to do it. He's a big old, 7-foot guy. They're trying to shoot 3-pointers. Man, put your body down in the paint, get the ball, and get 3 points the old-fashioned way. Get a foul, go to the line, and get on down the court. But these guys, they've been watching TV and all want to be Steph Currys and shoot up these 3-pointers and, man, get down in the paint and get dirty, get some rebounds, and put that ball up on the glass. That's what they need out of Towns and all these big guys around here shooting these 3-pointers, man. D-Nice say the Wolves in 5 or 6. Shit, I can't go with you with that one on you, D-Nice. I think that Golden State will come in there and steal one tonight, too. Yeah, I know Edwards, he relished the fact to play against Butler and Curry, but I don't see, I think Golden State just got a little bit too much experience. The better series or matchup for Minnesota would have been Houston because they like to talk, and all that excessive talking gets Edwards going. Draymond would normally pick out a guy like Edwards and pick on it and try to get him out of his game, but I think Draymond is smart enough not to do that because if you let him go, just he might score 20, 25, or you get to chirping at him and he gets hot. Now you got a problem. And between Edwards and Randall, the way that they're playing, that's a dangerous team, man. And I don't think they're stupid enough to get them going by doing some unnecessary chatter. Now, Draymond, he does some questionable things. I mean, just a lot of antics, bullshit. And we filing people and trying to act like it's an accident and he didn't do nothing. Man, get out of here, man. I just think if these guys just play the game, stop all the antics, they'd be a lot better than what they are. All these excessive challenges, and they be challenging minor calls. I mean, why waste my time with all these minor challenges when it's not going to make that much difference in the game? Um, but I think that Edwards tonight is going to get us 25 or so. But Golden State, unless they got a plan like Houston did to slow Curry down, he's going to light him up. And I just don't see Minnesota in the end outlasting Golden State. But they're going to have to find the answer for Randall. Randall's not doing he's not doing a great job rebounding lately, but scoring the basketball. And when you combine that with Edwards, it's a pretty dangerous team, man. So I'd be interested to see how that game goes. Well, they said the same thing about Denver being tired. See what happened last night, didn't you? Draymond better not get any more texts. He's suspended. Yeah, I just think he do a lot of stupid stuff, man. G's just finished a 7-game series and have tired legs. That don't mean anything. You making $1 million to get out there and play. So we don't want to hear nothing about that tired leg syndrome. That's for the birds, man. So let me ask this poll question again. Let me check on it. Is Boston really in danger from New York? Most of you say no. I agree with that. I don't think that if they can't get production from Towns, you can't expect Brunson to score 30 plus every night against Boston. They haven't done it all year. And if you think the Celtics are going to let them do it now, you got a different thing coming. I think a little Russ played into that last night against them. So game 2 is going to pretty much tell you what you need to know. And I expect Boston to come back because after seeing last night, knowing Towns had to come into the series, he knew he had to come in and do more than what he's done. And all he can give you is 14 points in an overtime game. That's just not somebody I can depend on. You saw it happen with Jalen Green and a lot of these guys collecting these huge NBA checks to come through. They can't do it. I was watching the game last night, and here come the Wingstop commercial, and you got Jalen Green on there. That's his problem, eating too much Dick's Wings, man. Is it Dick's Wings? No, not Dick's Wings. Wingstop. Eating too many wings, man. That's why he couldn't come through in the playoffs. But he'll come through in the regular season next year, scoring his 20, 25. In the playoffs, he'll be struggling to get 10 again. But these guys don't care as long as they cash in those big checks. They don't give a damn if they go to a championship or not. But in the end, that's the real goal anyway, to take care of your family. So I think these young guys realize that. And instead of getting into the gym, working on their craft, they're doing other stuff. But that's their own business. Yeah, I just want to come on and talk about the top seeds all down 0-1. Cleveland gets a chance for redemption tonight. And I want to see what kind of adjustments Boston and OKC make for tomorrow night. But Cleveland, to me, is out of those teams are in the biggest trouble because they have Garland still injured. How long is he going to sit out? And if they go down 0-2, big problem in Cleveland. So keep an eye on that. But anyway, I appreciate you guys chiming in with me. The horn went off, so I got to go get signed in, get ready for this day's work, man. If there's some breaking news, I come in and get my take on that. If not, see you guys about 6:30 in the morning. Please like and subscribe. And again, have a great day wherever you are. It's been Sports for Real. I got to get out of here, man. Got to go to work. I'm out.